Actual and up to date, but we do not guarantee its accuracy, and it should not be regarded as a complete analysis of the subjects discussed. Discussions and answers to questions do not involve the rendering of personalized investment advice, but are limited to the dissemination of general information. A professional advisor should be consulted before implementing any of the options presented. Encompass More Asset Management is registered as an investment advisor with the SEC and only transacts business in states where it is properly registered or is excluded or exempted from registration requirements. Registration with the SEC does not imply a certain level of skill or training. The guys are here. Let's talk to Clinton Smith, Galen Bargerstock.
GCES.
Morning, gentlemen. Good to have you both in the studio with us here this morning as we talk GCES, we talk retirement planning. We focus a lot these days on saving for your retirement from the perspective of folks of a certain age who have been working for a while. Let's talk today about young people and what young people should be doing right now as they enter into their work careers. And for some, it's right out of high school and they get a job. Particularly these days, there are a lot of good-paying jobs for people in trades, and people are taking advantage of that. So they're making salaries very early. Others go to university, get their degrees, start out, and build themselves up as well. So they're at the beginning of their earnings cycle. And let's talk about what they can do because, Clinton, there are certain things that young men and young women can do right now.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of people I think a lot of people think that you have to go to college and make a ton of money. It really turns out people that go to trade schools, HVAC, plumbers, stuff like that, those positions can make a ton of money. And sometimes those people actually have higher net worth. So if you didn't go to college, don't think that you can't get started on saving for investments. And really, it just comes down to saving money, especially if your employer matches a certain portion of the money that you put away. That's really the first step, making sure that you're getting all of that matching money because you don't want to be saying goodbye to free money when you can put it towards your retirement.
Yeah. Galen, for a lot of us, there's really no concept of how it is that we should be setting up, just the very basics of our savings plan.
Oh, yeah, no, you're 100% correct. And the younger you are entering into, adulthood, trying to figure things out, it's even harder. I think that the big trend that I see with the younger generation is trying to do stuff on apps. And apps are great, believe me, I love apps. But, when you're trying to do savings accounts and retirements and you're just getting an app and going with it and kind of doing it yourself, you're going to accomplish something. But if you talk to somebody that actually, has a good idea of not just a savings account, but what you need to plan for retirement, you're going to get a big picture, and then we can give you an app on your phone to kind of track it from there.
A lot of people who make money at a younger age consider that to be dabble time. We can dabble a little bit over here and dabble a little bit over there. Maybe they play the stock market. Yeah. They do this, they do that, and that's okay for them because they have time to recover if they suffer great losses. But at the same time, it's an opportunity right now to start saving for the future, isn't it?
One of the mistakes we'll see is people will leave their jobs and move to another job and then not continue to keep that money in investments. Sometimes a lot of people want to take it out and treat it almost like a tax refund where, hey, I got this $15,000, let's see what I can do with it. And they'll take the penalty and they'll blow the money. If you move from one job to another, we can help you take that money and put it into something that will continue to grow, that you can continue to put money into while you're working. Or you could even roll it over into your new employer's plan. Like we offer a 401k at our office, and the girls at our office rolled money from their previous employers into the plan that we have in our 401k now. Mm-hmm. So they're getting gains on that money. But if it's retirement money, unless you need it, you should save it for retirement and continue to let it grow. Money that you have in your 20s will grow a lot better than when you do it in your 40s. There's just a limited amount of time for it to happen then.
Yeah. Galen, one of the things that Clinton just said sparked something in me, particularly when you think of professions like teaching. There in your 20s, there's turnover there. You can bounce from job to job pretty easily as you look for better opportunities, something closer to home or whatever it might be, maybe a school district that pays more. And so they have really good retirement plans at school districts. And so when you move from one to the other, just as Clinton said, you have a real chance to turn over and make something really special happen.
Oh, for sure. I mean, when you can actually take control of your investments, you're not in an employer plan. An employer plan, they're great. They're fantastic. They serve a purpose, but you're limited on what you're allowed to invest in inside of it. And if you roll it over and we do a risk tolerance and see where you should be at in the market, you have a potential for, maybe better gains, maybe protect some of the losses, but ultimately it's going to be tailored around you, more diversified, and, we have your eyes on it. And then if you get another position somewhere else and you leave that position, we can do that again. So I know many people that have, 8 or 9 different IRAs, old IRAs, 401ks from other employers, and we can kind of consolidate everything and get you on the right track.
Yeah. It is such a busy time in their lives. There are all kinds of changes. You could get married. You could change employment situations, living situations, states in which you live.
Yeah.
All of those things have to be considered, though, don't they?
Oh, for sure. Everything that you just mentioned is kind of a life-changing event. And anytime there's some kind of monumental change in your household, you should set up an appointment for a review because the game kind of changed on you a little bit and you need to make sure that you're positioned right.
Yeah. Is there also, though, within younger folks who are just getting started, the idea that we don't know what it's going to be like in 3 or 4 years? I'm not going to retire for another 30 or 35 or 40 years. Why would I even want to get involved in all of that when there's going to be so much change?
Change has been happening forever, so it's not going to stop. Everyone asks about taxes. Should I pay money on my taxes now? Should I pay it later? We don't know. Most likely taxes are going to go up in the future, so it might be better to pay them now, but no one really knows. We don't have that magic crystal ball. COVID happened. That threw a whole entire wrench at everyone. A lot of people moved jobs, changed jobs, and really gave everyone more of a way of looking at life, of living it, rather than working to retire, if that makes sense. So I think people's views have shifted a lot over the last few years. But with young people, it's not just preparing for retirement. We also work with a lot of people that want to set up stuff for their children. We deal with that a lot, too, with younger people where they're having kids and they want to set something up for their children that they can have to either go to school or use once they become of age as well. So there's a lot of different things. If you're young and you haven't started yet, you can give us a call to sit down. We can get you on the right track, just like we would do with someone that's really close to retirement.
I want to talk about somebody who is a specific young person moving into the military service, and then retirement age for military is much younger than in other professions or other jobs. You can retire in your early 40s from the military, and then you've got all kinds of different options. Do I stay retired, just live off of my military savings and pension, or do I go back into the job market, which is typically what somebody is going to do? Are there special circumstances for them, Galen?
Oh, yeah, that's actually my wheelhouse. So federal employees, great pension. Doesn't matter if you're military, Social Security office, postal employee. Nowadays, it's the same pension. So you get your federal service time. If you don't retire from there, what a lot of people will do is they will search for other federal positions because they can buy back that time towards pensionable for the first pension. So they could have more time if they don't retire. If they do retire, they can't double dip, but they could still get a federal position, and it would still be the thrift savings plan, which is, their essential 401k.
Yeah.
So military, great options in the military nowadays. When I was in the military, we didn't have the pension plan that they have now.
Yeah. And as you say, there are federal government jobs that you don't have to move to D.C. for, or to some of the naval bases that are on the coast. There are plenty of federal jobs, no matter where you happen to be.
Yeah. I mean, the VA hospital, post office, USDA, Social Security, those are some of the biggest ones, but forestry. I mean, there's tons of federal employee positions around here.
Yeah. So people actually, they go from military, or not military, but federal to federal in order to keep those things going.
Oh, yeah. I would say it's probably 45% maybe.
Yeah.
People have military time,
Even if you just spent 4 years in the military and you go work at the post office, let's say you're there for 1 year, you can buy back your military time, the 4 years, and although you're only there for 1 year, it looks like you're there for 5. And you're able to move that same TSP into your federal employment and still continue to put into the same investments that you were doing when you're in the military. So there's a ton of people that do it. It's actually one of the things we talk about when people are calling in on their first calls. If they have military time, we want to make sure they look into buying that time back to add it to their federal pension.
There are a lot of options, employment-wise, savings-wise. Young people, we might look at their lives and say, oh, gosh, I certainly wouldn't want to be a young person in this day and age, economically or in other ways. But if you work it right, Galen, there's certainly some great options for you.
I mean, I've just had this last week that it's weird we're talking about it. I did work with 4 younger people, and I was very surprised, one, at how knowledgeable they are in what's going on, probably more than I was at that age, and 2, how much they have saved already and what they're doing. I mean, they're coming out the gate swinging.
Yeah.
It's just they need the little nudges to kind of position them where they should be.
Yeah. Pretty exciting, though, isn't it, to find out that people have that at that young age.
Yeah.
They have that going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wish we would have did that. Right?
I still have no idea what's going on.
Yeah.
Well, gentlemen, if folks want to get involved with GCES, if they're a young person and they're saying to themselves, I'm going to get in on that. That sounds like something really cool, and I can really help myself in the future. What should they do?
Just give us a call, 724-915-0000. You can also check us out online at gces.us. There's a form that you can fill out if you want us to contact you on there. You can also, there's links to our Facebook page if you want to learn more about us, or you can stop into our office at 1780 Philadelphia Street. If you drive up and down Philadelphia Street, there's a tiny blip where you're engulfed in GCS marketing, and it's not hard to find us.
There you go. 2 little tiny blips here in the studio with us today. Gentlemen, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
It's Indiana in the Morning on WCCS.
GCES.
Hey, it's Clint and Galen here from GCES. Since 2010, we've been